And this is part 2 of Spoken Letters to My Younger Self. This started a month ago, well no, 2 months ago, when we heard a young woman, 24 maybe, 23, in her poem she was calling out to the more experienced women to speak out about gender violence. Nos pidió que habláramos una mujer joven sobre la violencia de género. And 2 or 3 women, we just looked at each other, being more experienced, and we said, órale, órale, let's do it. So a month ago, we had a different setup, a different lineup of people, and we spoke about gender violence. It was very moving. You were here last month? No? And this month, we are doing part 2. So that is what you're going to see now, and we're gonna just try and flow one after the other, and at the end we will say our name. Actually, you have our names on the program, and I think you have very, very interesting explanations also that Isabel put together. So, arrancamos. Yeah. Another man on home from the county farm. Another man home. They hunted him with hound. 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 They hunted him. Since I was a little girl, I really loved music. And I loved the blues. My mother, she listened to Janis Joplin. That's what I grew up on. Billie Holiday. And then I became a teenager. You know, you don't really talk to mothers and fathers anymore. You start observing yourself. Mis manos. I had very square hands. Strong hands. I would look at my hands and my friends' hands, you know, they have long fingers and long fingernails, and I said, creo que maybe I'm going to be a carpintero, you know, a carpenter, quizás un constructor. I mean, look at my hands. But no, I went to college, university. When I turned 30, these hands touched the skin of a drum, de un tambor. And I knew what these hands were for. Oh, they were for drumming. Diosito, mira, Diosita así las hizo. I started to drum. It was such an amazing feeling. Every little inch of my body felt full. Every little inch of my body exploded. And I was a happy woman. And I took a course with the Cubanos. You know, the Cubanos llegaron a Mexico, and we wanted it all. And every day we played like 5, 6, 7 hours. And one day, Mario, el aspirina, el más viejito, el gruñón, he was always grumpy. He said the magic words. He said, sacred drums, tambores sagrados, los tambores bata, de Cuba. And you know, like Linda Blair, The Exorcist? You've seen like The Exorcista? My head went, and I said, yo quiero. He told me how much he was selling them. It wasn't, you know, regalado. So I went to the drawer in my kitchen and I had exactly that amount of money to pay my rent. So I paid the drums. And we started to learn. But 3 of us, because the bata drums are amazing. Los batas they are horizontal, and it's 3 of them. And so they have one skin on each side, una piel de cada lado. Pero son 3 de tamaños diferentes, small, medium, large. So that makes 6 skins, and they're all a different tone. And it's the most sophisticated polyrhythm in all of Latin America, los batas, maybe even the world, but you never know. Pero de Latinoamérica es lo más sofisticado, lo más complejo. There's over 200 variations, and each variation has several songs. It was better than drugs. Oh, I loved it so much. And so we start to study. And there's 3 drums, right? The small one, el pequeñito, es el hijo, the son. And he keeps the beat. It's high pitch. And then there's the middle drum, el papá, father. And he keeps the beat and plays a little bit. And then there's the big one, the mama drum. La madre, y ya. El ya, el itote, y el oconcolo, chiquito. And for some reason, maybe because I'm grandota, I was the one that played the ya. And you see, the ya is the one that speaks out. She improvises all the time. Ella habla, ella le llama. You call the gods so they come down. You make people dance, and you call the gods, and sometimes even tell stories to them and get them angry so they will come. And there will be trance. Because yes, this is a religion. La Santería. La Santería llegó from Nigeria with the Africans to Cuba. But Cuba is an island. And so the drums stayed on that island. And for some reason in Cuba, el patrón, the Spanish guy, I guess they were so happy and they didn't even take the drums away from the slaves. In Brazil, they took them away. In Peru, everywhere else. Mexico, no drums. But in Cuba, les dejaron los tambores. So the batatas got more and more complex. And yes, I fell in love with La Santería also. And soon enough, I was playing in the ceremonies de La Santería. Many hours. It's a closed room. And people have a lot of faith. And people dance and sing. And we would play many hours. In the first hour, oh, my arms, because it's a big drum. My arms were very, very sore. But after the first hour, I could play for 5, 6 hours. And every time I felt stronger. And I felt more connected with the people. And yes, my hands were bleeding. But no dolía. And we would finish it. We wanted more. It was so good. And the Cuban man, Orestes, the santero, el babalao, he hired me. And he would insist, you have to come and play with me. I want you. So I went. And he paid money. I had 3 children I had to feed. I'm a single mother, right? And I was happy. And one day, Orestes went to the bathroom, disappeared. And we kept playing for the gods. El Iguá, el Dios de los Caminos, he's the first always. They represent him as a little child. Baba fururu, para su ayo, omoña la guana mama que ni la boe, echubele que iba. He always plays with his kite. Echubele que iba alaye, alaroye. And then, there's Aguatalá, el Padre. He's dresses in white. He is the God of peace. And he is the one that sings, Baba fururu, heruereo. And the other warriors, there's Ogun, who he's a very, very serious god because he's the one that makes all the weapons. And then there's Ochosi, el cazador, and Gaboe, 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 Gabiosile, Chango. Chango, and when I see you smiling, you know about this, right? He's the owner of the music. He's the owner of virility, owner of the parties. And then there's the females. La Madre, Yemaya, the water, the ocean, the soft ocean. Yemaya, hace su Yemaya. And she can be angry, right? La tormenta. And then there is Oya, many, many colors. She's in charge of the dead people. And there is Oshun. She bathes her body with honey. She is in charge of el dinero, money, and love. And we sang for them. But as I was saying, one day Orestes se fue. I don't know, he left us there. You know, there was 3, 4 of us, and we were singing and playing. And suddenly all the people stood in front of me. Not of all of them, just in front of me. enfrentito de mí, mirándome. It was this bizarre silence, atmosphere. So we stopped playing. And they said, get off the drum. Quítate del tambor. Las mujeres no deben de tocar. El tambor sagrado no lo tocan las mujeres. I still asked, pero ¿por qué? Why? And they said, because you bleed. Tienes la menstruación. Orestes came back and we finished playing. But I don't like shame. No me gusta la vergüenza. So he called me, but I said, no, I'm not going back. But I had to eat, right? My children had to eat. No work, no food. So I started playing other kinds of drums. And that's when I started playing salsa. I loved, I danced, I had a good time. No more children, they're big. Ya se fueron los hijos. Así que ahora tengo tiempo to sit down, just look out the window. You know that feeling. So here I am sitting down looking out the window. And the wind is doing this thing outside. And I start feeling an itch here in las manos, como que me picaba. And I realized I missed playing the batas. Nothing has filled me the way the bata drums filled me. And it's been 30 years since I played the bata, but I miss it. And then the wind outside started like lifting the leaves, you know how it does it, putting them down and lifting them up. And I started thinking and saying, I don't understand. You see the sacred drum? You feed it. Se alimenta el tambor sagrado con sangre. You kill roosters, so it's powerful. Well, that's blood, no? Si es sangre, ¿verdad? And I bleed, that should make more power, no? And then I remembered, wait a minute, do you mean that my blood can weaken a drum? ¿Puede debilitar un tambor? Mi sangre can weaken the god? Hey, I'm powerful. That was a good feeling. But then the wind outside is doing all these things with the leaves, and up and down, and oops, hey. I have my menopause. I don't bleed anymore. Can you say menopause with me? Menopause. En el español, menopausia. Está más largota, está más acaba. Okay, so, sí, pues tengo la menopausia. Hey, ya puedo tocar. I don't bleed anymore, hey, right? I can go tell the man, hey, Valentina's really good, and I don't bleed anymore. But I know my people. I could just figure that out. Getting there and them saying, ¿qué? No, las viejas a la cocina, go cook something for us. You're old now. I'm not going to give them that satisfaction. I'm too good for that. So there I was sitting down. And then I suddenly said, menopausia. Sounds nice, no? Menopausia. And I decided to have a party, una fiesta, para celebrar mi menopausia. Y fue en noviembre del año pasado. Yes, I had a big party and lots of drums. And my padrino Orestes, he came and he played and we played and I danced and it was a good party. But the best thing of that party was that my daughter gave me a cake. It was green. Oh, that's my beautiful green. And the best, la mejor fabricante de pasteles de todo México, de toda la Ciudad de México, the best, the fashion. And it said, happy menopause, feliz menopausia. Right? And it had a little woman in the middle. And it was very good. But 2 days after the party, my daughter knocked on the door. Said, Mamá, mira. And she showed me her phone. I don't know about social media, but Twitter or Insta, one of those. And she showed me, look. And it was the Instagram or the Twitter of the woman that made the cake. And it said, when you think you've seen it all, a young woman comes into your shop asking for a menopause cake. When I turn that age, I too will have my menno party. Rimo, tambo, y flores. I like that a lot. And now I had to leave my country and I travel a lot, so the drums are sort of hard to carry around. You know, my life is in one suitcase and one bag, but I discovered this one. This is a frame drum, and it pesa 2 kilos. So now I play the frame drum.
Statistic in the United States that refers to sexual abuse among females. 1 in 4. 1 in 4 singled out and violated cannot believe in themselves, trust their own judgment, trust their lovers. 1 in 4 young girls knew the family member, family friend, and failed to suspect aggressors that snuck in beside them. 1 in 4 will not unstrap the buckles they have cinched around their throat, their breast, their legs, their words. Lives silenced, half-lived, diminished. Girls preyed upon, too young to speak. And when they could, the teens, young women, and wives, they were silent still. A heart wildly pounding. The feeling came to me waking this morning of my childhood years. Not in technical terms, nor literal, but a sense of slipping through a parent's hand in midair. An accident, like a fragile egg about to hit the floor. The moment where the heart is pounding, not like an egg because I never hit the floor, but like being high up in the sky and dropped from a plane, followed by the long descent down, the fall spanning a lifetime, falling and falling, flailing, and possibly dying in the very cold atmosphere, until I revive on the long tumble down. There is nothing, nothing, and nobody but mouthfuls of empty air from perpetual falling, all behind the scenes I invented to survive. I cannot find the ground until the ground finds me. It's a parent holding on until they no longer do. As far as I see in my bloodline, each child is dropped. My mother and father dropped their descendants as they themselves were dropped. In turn, my siblings drop descendants. And I am no exception. None of us see ourselves in the downward plight, numb to our heart wildly pounding.